In the Indian subcontinent's eastern corner, a storm is blowing, not of weather, but of blood, steel, and ideology. Tanks now guard Dhaka's streets, and universities have become armories. And Bangladesh, once a land of language martyrs and liberation, faces its most perilous moment since 1971. Be rest assured that this is not just another political crisis. It's a civilizational fault line which is cracking wide open. Today, we break down one of Indian subcontinent's most promising nations spiraling into chaos and why the world should pay attention. Namaskar and welcome to the Drishtikone Show, your trusted space for deep, factual, and nuanced analysis of the most pressing issues shaping our world. On this channel, we go beyond the headlines, breaking down complex developments with clarity and context so you can understand not just what's happening, but why. Today, we turn our lens to Bangladesh, a nation at the crossroads of political upheaval, military assertiveness, and rising extremism. The recent deployment of tanks and troops in Dhaka, the ban on Awami League, and the alarming reports of Islamist groups arming themselves at Dhaka University signal a crisis that could reshape not only Bangladesh but the entire region. In an unprecedented move, Bangladesh's interim government, led by the so-called Nobel Peace Laureate Muhammad Yunus, banned all activities of the country's oldest and once ruling political party, the Awami League, under the Anti-Terrorism Act. The democratic opposition was banned under the pretext of terrorism. This followed the ouster of the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina after a massive student-led uprising in late 2024, which may have been orchestrated by other people. Far from being a return to democracy, this ban is widely seen as an authoritarian purge, a calculated move to wipe out entire opposition of Awami League and centralize power under the pretext of reform. Earlier, the student wing of the Awami League, the Sheikh Hasina's party, Bangladesh Chhatra League, was also labeled a terrorist organization, banned in October 2024. What we are witnessing is not just a clampdown, it's a political decapitation. The images are very striking right now. Armored vehicles are rumbling through the capital. Troops from the 9th Infantry Division taking positions near the parliament and key installations. An army chief, General Waker-uz-Zaman, has issued a blunt ultimatum to the interim government: elections by December 2025 or else. This is not just a routine show of strength, it's a message, direct and chilling. If the civilian leadership dithers or fails, the military is prepared to step in. The military's deployment is being justified as a preventive measure to curb unrest, but it's also a silent no confidence vote against a Yunus regime. And make no mistake, Bangladeshi army is not bluffing. It will act. One of the most alarming developments is the rapid rise of Islamist groups in the political vacuum left by the Awami League's ban. Jamaat-e-Islami and its notorious student wing, Islami Chhatra Shibir, have returned with frightening speed and confidence. Reports are suggesting that weapons and ammunitions have been stockpiled within Dhaka University, which used to be once a bastion of secular and progressive politics. Arms are being smuggled in through student networks. Formerly banned radicals are being released from jails. Their cases are mysteriously withdrawn. The interim regime's silence, or complicity rather, is deafening. And in this fog of war, militant groups like Jamaat-ul-Mujahideen Bangladesh, JMB, are resurfacing, even holding public rallies in Dhaka. And the crisis is deepening. And India has ramped up its border security, particularly along the West Bengal, Tripura, and Assam areas. Intelligence inputs indicate increased activities by terror groups which were previously dormant. So why is India so concerned? Because India has been here before. The chaos of 1971, the insurgency of the 1990s, the cross-border terror routes that remain active even today. What brews in Dhaka rarely stays in Dhaka. The rise of Islamist groups, a collapsing administration, and military assertiveness so close to India's sensitive northeast is a geopolitical nightmare for the New Delhi administration. The political instability always has an economic cost. In Bangladesh, that cost is turning catastrophic. GDP growth has plummeted to 3.3% in FY25, a dramatic drop from its previous highs. Inflation is soaring, investment has dried up, the financial sector is riddled with vulnerabilities. Public sector workers, educators, and students are now protesting en masse, further hampering productivity and shaking investor confidence. Bangladesh's once stable banking system is now fragile and exposed. The United Nations, on their side, have issued a damning report accusing both the previous and the current regimes of crimes against humanity. Over 1,400 people were killed during the 2024 uprising, many of them children. Thousands more were injured, and yet the wheels of justice remain unmoved. Rather than reconciliation, the new regime is chasing vengeance and consolidation. Civil rights groups have warned that unless the repression ends, a civil war is not a very far-fetched phenomenon. More importantly, there has been a state-sponsored Hindu genocide. Hindu monks have been jailed without representation. Those wanting to represent them in courts were killed. Hindu officials, teachers, pundits, and workers have been thrown out of jobs and jailed. Many Hindu women have been gang raped and killed. The pattern across the land is the same. But the Nobel laureate for peace does not care for human rights. He has his power to care for. If you thought all this is happening within Bangladesh was purely a domestic affair, think again. The United States has quietly sent an Air Force team to Dhaka under the pretext of logistical cooperation. China, meanwhile, is pushing ahead with its Rakhine corridor, linking southwestern Myanmar with Chittagong through heavily militarized and insurgency-prone zones. India now finds staring at a strategic principle movement with China from the east and Islamic radicalization from the west. Is Bangladesh becoming a new Cold War battleground in the Indian subcontinent? It could be. Bangladesh's military is no longer playing defense. The 2025-26 defense budget reflects a dramatic pivot, modernization, rapid deployment, and assertive posture. New armored vehicles, upgraded anti-tank systems, and enhanced logistics are being deployed not just for the border defense, but for domestic civilization. The military no longer sees itself as a background actor. It has positioned itself as a final guarantor of stability, willing to override civilian paralysis if the country's future demands it. The fear of a coup is actually quite real, and it's growing. Bangladesh has reached a dangerous inflection point now. Its capital is militarized, political parties are banned, Islamists are rearming, and the military is growling. The economy is tanking, and the people are angry and almost helpless. The promises of reform and elections by the interim government ring hollow in a land where dissent is silenced, opposition is outlawed, and tanks decide the future. The last time Dhaka was this tense, a civil war was born and a new nation was created. This time, the fight may end up destroying the very fabric of what was built. Bangladesh is no longer Bangladesh's problem now. It is South Asia's time bomb. The convergence of military muscle, Islamic resurgence, economic collapse, and foreign interference from China and the United States and the other Western countries has created a perfect storm. A state with nuclear armed neighbors, internal radicalization, and youth disillusionment cannot afford such volatility. For India, this is a red alert. For the world, it is a case study in how democracy dies when populism, militarism, and opportunism collide. So, what's happening in Bangladesh is a warning to the region, to India, and to democracies everywhere. When institutions are hollowed and power is wielded like a weapon, collapse is not a question of if, but when. We urge our viewers, especially in India, to understand the deeper fault lines, because what burns in Dhaka today may singe Siliguri and Agartala tomorrow. So pay special attention to what is going on in Bangladesh, for that impacts the future of Northeast India. Thank you. Jai Hind.